Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you all for joining. We have been joined by many exalted devotees today here from all over the world. My name is Shama Bhakti Devi Dasi. I would be facilitating this call today on behalf of BBT MCI team along with Siddhanta Sagar Prabhu. We warmly welcome all the devotees joining us here for this Be a Gardener Caitanya-caritamrta training session on how to distribute Caitanya-caritamrta. Today we are going to hear and learn from many stalwart devotees of ISV, London and Pune Yatra. We'll discover practical strategies, presentation tips and how to become an instrument in Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Hare Krishna Saru Lakshana Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. My name is Shama Bhakti Devi Dasi. I would be facilitating this call today. Welcome to our call. You would be our first speaker. So we would start with our prayers first. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Swaminiti Namine. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे हरे. Thank you all. I would like to again, one more time, welcome all of you for giving your time and attention to this call. And today we would first hear from His Grace Sarvalakshana Prabhu from Pune. He is joining us, and Pune is one of the most organized Sankirtan Yatra, and they have been distributing lot of Chaitanya Charitamrita from very long time, and I think they are the number one in distributing Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially in India. So he will be sharing us how to distribute Chaitanya Charitamrita to Indians specially. So over to you, Sarvalakshana Prabhu. Welcome. Please take over.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees. Actually, I am fortunate to be in Mayapur right now. So it's my good fortune because of the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are here today morning only. We had ICC book distribution prize distribution ceremony with his grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. It was a memorable experience. Actually, early in the morning today, all the Sankirtan buses, those who have distributed all over India from Mayapur team, I think more than 12 buses were entering into Mayapur temple. And in each and every buses, there were sets of Gaurnitai deities. And it was amazing experience. And later, when there was a celebration and His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj was speaking about the book distribution program. And when he was explaining how the devotees, while distributing books, they have tolerated so many difficulties and with bare minimum facilities, and all the community members, they were welcoming all the devotees to Mayapur temple. And while speaking, he was continuously crying tears. And he was not able to speak. Actually, it was amazing experience. So, coming to the main point today, how to distribute Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Frankly speaking, I personally in Pune, so there are so many devotees are there. They are distributing to many devotees. So one thing I can share is that there was a Chaitanya Bhagavat class arranged from His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj. So every day, thousands of devotees were coming to hear Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. And I thought, let me distribute Sri Caitanya-caritamrta in this opportunity. So after the class, we announced that so we are going to distribute Sri Caitanya-caritamrta. So I heard, and I was there in Mayapur, His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, during Gaur Purnima festival, one of the festival, how His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, after Srimad Bhagavatam class during Gaur Purnima, he distributed so many sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. Same thing I also uh, started in Pune. Actually, in our ISKCON, there are so many programs going on, especially during Gaur Purnima, from Nityanand Prabhu's appearance, Nityanand Trayodashi to Gaur Purnima. So from that program, I took this opportunity and we announced about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And you may not believe, in that one program, we distributed 140 Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita one day, just by announcement. So we can distribute Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita mostly to the devotees, because devotees only know who Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. And it is very, very special moment started by our His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Today, one of our brahmachari, Kanai Thakur Prabhu, was telling that Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was told that why Srila Prabhupada forced the devotees to uh, publish Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in such a short period of time. Actually, Prabhupada also told that you have to publish the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita within so and so date. So devotees told that it is impossible. But Prabhupada said that impossible is in fool's dictionary. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu told that actually immediately after few months, another person, he published Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He was not authentic devotee, but if Srila Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita would not have come on that particular time, that the I don't know whether I don't know about that, but that would have become famous because. But Srila Prabhupada, empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he published Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita first. So, if we want to distribute Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in every program, we should, at least we should speak about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We should display. And many, many devotees, today we were in Mayapur, our devotees were telling that Chaitanya Charitamrita is real fruit given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is a mango without cover and without what you call in mango inside there is gutli. In Hindi we call gutli. So, but Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is like without external cover and internal seed. So it is only just like nectar, and it's like a mango, like a gulab jamun. Gulab jamun, there is no seed, no cover, with the flavor of mango. So everybody will relish, and all of us, we should, wherever we may speak about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, we should definitely speak about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. in India, we have distributed so many sets of Srimad Bhagavatam, so many Bhagavad Gitas, and devotees. Once it happened that I myself, I was distributing books. So one lady came to me, and I have put one table, and she told that, uh, "Is there any books?" It actually there was. Um One mela was going on. That was Katha, Murari Bapu Katha was going on. So she came to our table and she asked that, she told that I have read all the Prabhupada books. Then I asked, do you have Srimad Bhagavatam? She said, what is that? She was not aware of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then I gave one set of Srimad Bhagavatam, and she became devotee by reading. Actually, she started chanting 16 rounds. Then later, she said, I have read Bhagavatam also. Then I told her that you take Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta. But actually, after taking Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta, she took initiation also. And there are so many devotees who are waiting for Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So it is our duty now to approach all the devotees. Actually, most of the time, I have experienced that because we are not speaking about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. That is why people are not knowing who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was the desire of Srila Prabhupada that each and every person should have one Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita set and Srimad Bhagavatam. Every respectable person should, at least, they should keep one set of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam. We have so many people, not only India, all over the world. So, Bharata Bhumite vele Manusya Janma jar, Janma Sarthaka Kari Karo Paropakar. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he told that, so I am the one gardener. I have so many fruits to distribute. So how can I distribute so many fruits to so many people? All of you please come and together we can distribute so many fruits. So Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is the real fruit brought by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from the Goloka Dhama, and it is our opportunity to distribute Srimad Bhagavat, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Charita Amrita, it is really Amrita and nectar. And uh, later I was giving one program. I was regularly giving class, but that particular day, on the day of Gaur Purnima, so many people came, and I spoke about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how merciful he is. So how rare it is. How actually Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes once in Brahma's day. So how long it is Brahma's one day? Hmm? So I explained very systematically. One Brahma's one day is equal to 1,000 Divya Yuga. One Divya Yuga is equal to 4 yugas, and Kali Yuga itself is 4,32,000 years. Double of that is uh, Dwapara Yuga, triple is Treta Yuga, and 4 times is Satya Yuga. So together it becomes one Divya Yuga, and like that 1,000 Divya Yuga comes, and in that 1,000 Divya Yuga only once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, and that just 500 years before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and he becomes shocked. So one person, he becomes shocked, right? Such a rare opportunity. So let me understand who that personality is. So immediately she took Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and he read and he started chanting 16 rounds and he became devotee. He was totally new person. So actually, in India, most of the people, they think that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. No one knows that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we have to openly uh, tell everybody that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not just sannyasi, but even if they give respect like sannyasi, still they will get some benefit. But if we clearly say that how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not just sannyasi, but he's supreme personality of Godhead. And Lord Nityanand Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are none other than Krishna and Balram. So naturally, Indian people, they have respect towards uh, Krishna Balram. Most of the people, they know about how Jagannath Baldev, they are only the Chaitanya. They know Jagannath Baldev, but they don't know that the same Jagannath and Baldev came in the form of Krishna and Balaram, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu. So wherever we are speaking, wherever giving some programs, everywhere we should speak about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And thank you very much for giving me opportunity to speak about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so very few days are remaining for Gaur Purnima. So we get so many opportunity to speak. Please speak about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is the desire of Srila Prabhupada to establish. Actually, Srila Prabhupada only started this Gaur. Earlier, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, he was establishing Gaur Gadadhar. In the mood of Nityanand Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada understood that all over the world, people are becoming like Jagai Madai. So we should establish Gaur Nitai. And Srila Prabhupada already, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have thousands of temples all over the world. And if they really, if we really want to publicize about Nityanand Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who they are, why they came, and what is the purpose and everything, we must distribute Sri Caitanya-caritamrta more and more, so that we can really bring real peace all over the world. Everywhere wars are going on, so many people are dying, and now in Mayapur we are enjoying, but so many people are suffering all over the world. So it is our duty to save the world by distributing Sri Chaitanya. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. It was very sweet. Srila Prabhupada says Chaitanya Charitamrita is like a Bengali sweet. So your explanation was also very sweet. So thank you so much. You told us that how systematically, if we explain it to devotees, it to people, then everyone become interested. And in every program, we should speak about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. People are receiving Chaitanya Charitamrita. They start chanting 16 rounds. They are becoming devotees. So that was very helpful. I'm sure devotee would be having questions, but we will save our question for the end, or you can just type in the chat. We will move on to our next presenter. We have Akinchana Vitta Prabhu and his team joining from ISKCON London, their number 1 program in Europe. Their results from every campaign is very, very inspiring. They are happy to share their experiences and resource today. They have already distributed more than 300 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita on the streets of London. They will share now how to give Chaitanya Charitamrita to Western audience. Prabhu, are you here?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much, Mataji, for that introduction. And I have Aprameya Krishna Prabhu with us. He's our powerful Sankirtan devotee. We're in Mayapur right now, following the steps of the Prabhu before. And I would like to give Aprameya Prabhu is going to explain everything, how he does it. And most of our sets goes to the Western audience. So he has prepared a very nice presentation and he's going to present it very nicely. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I feel truly unqualified to be sitting here, but I thank you so much for your opportunity. I'd like to start with the Mangal Charan. Om Jnana Timyandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayambhu Pakadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam Vanchakapata Rubisha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavnebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai. So I'd like to start off, internet, if you'd be able to.
Yeah, we'll just be sharing the screen.
So I'm just getting my screens set up. Just with our presentation. This is the way we've been distributing books here in London. Well, I'm currently in Mayapur, but in London, we've been distributing sets and we've been distributing them on the streets to Westerners, to a non-traditional background. And not just that, but being able to get a full donation for it. And so today I've been asked very humbly to speak on this. And so here's the presentation. So as every good Sankirtan seminar starts with, it's always got to start off with the 4 laws of book distribution that Vaishesika Prabhu has made famous around the world. So firstly, that your sadhana must be strong. And so I've presented these, but just in reference to this Be a Gardener campaign. And so for law number 1, it's just about reading, conversing, and applying the Caitanya-caritamrta in our everyday lives. And from that taste, when we're reading about it, when we're speaking to devotees constantly about it, naturally that devotion, that interest, that desire to distribute them comes stronger and stronger, and then the distribution just becomes as an overflow. Law number 2, to make sure you actually have the books. We actually had an instance 1 week ago where the BBT warehouse mispredicted how many sets we distribute. We outdid any prediction, and we actually ran out of books. But law number 2 is to just get books, to make sure that you have at least 1 set with you. If you don't have the books, how are you going to distribute them? And of course, when you have the books to beautify, we usually use a book table. And so we put the set on the table, we put it towards the front of the table so it's the most prominent. We sometimes tie it up or we put a garland over it, and it just makes it look beautiful to attract attention. Law number 3, the more you show, the more you sell. And it's not about having, 10 different sets on the table, but it means to expand the number of streams that we have for book distribution and also the number of book distributors. The more ways we can distribute books, the more number of devotees, then naturally the more books will go out. And law number 4, that we must organize. And that's just about how prepared are we before we go out. When we meditate, I've got some little hints towards the end of this of how we can meditate and visualize us distributing a set. Even one thing that we do within our temple is here in ISKCON London is whilst we're chanting japa, we have on a table, we have a set of Caitanya-caritamrta. And so whilst we're chanting, we're meditating directly on Caitanya-caritamrta. So right next to Tulsi, there's the CC set. And also to set a goal for how many people you introduce CC to. Just having that goal, I'm going to introduce to 5 people today. And even out of that 5 people, maybe 1 takes it. But even if not, even if it's 5 people over 5 days, then at least 1 person will end up taking it. And to, of course, learn tactics and lines for this book distribution. And so I guess that's what I'm here to do today. And so the most important part is, how can we distribute these sets then? What is it that we tell people? And so what I've accumulated here is more a repertoire rather than exact lines. And I'm just going to go through many different steps. You can use all of them, or you can just use a few of them, whichever one connects most of you. It's more to give you something, and then based on that, you have something to go on to. And so step 1 is to glorify and qualify, following in the mood of Vaishesika Prabhu. You go up to people, same lines as you would with a Bhagavad Gita. Wow, I love your hat. I love your shoes. I like your style. Wow, you're intelligent. And then to qualify them. Wow, you like reading. You like you like reading. You like meditation. You like eating peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Whatever it is, these books are for you, and you need these. And it's not just these lines, but it's actually from the line that actually has to be this intention, this underlying intention within us that actually sees that no matter who this person is, they actually do need these books. And when you say it with that intention, the energy is deeper. And so step number 2 is to then introduce Lord Caitanya and the set in general. And so I bring people to the table. Once I say, you need these books, then I bring them to the table and I tell them, this is a book, this is a 9-book set called Caitanya-caritamrta. Can you say Chaitanya? And then they say Chaitanya. And then you say, wow, very good. That's great pronunciation. And just in that, they get this agata sukriti, they gain the benefit. They already they're like that 10% closer to actually taking it. But also naturally you're going to feel like, wow, I accomplished something. I can say Chaitanya, I got a connection with the books. After that, you can introduce the books even deeper. These are biography on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is known as a golden monk. And of course, people think monks are cool, but this is the golden monk, so he's even cooler. And he brought mantra meditation to the world 500 years ago. He taught us the highest form of love of God. And when you say these, people are naturally interested because based on this, it's not. And then you can even go further. You can tell people about how it's not based on philosophy or cheap belief, but living joyfully, loving openly, inspiring others to do it. And so these are different core principles that he taught. Number 3, I say this to people when they're looking for, um, validity, really. I speak about the author, Srila Prabhupada. And so one thing, he's the spiritual teacher of the Beatles. George Harrison, John Lennon, you can speak on these. And I guess in England as well, they're very famous, so it helps a lot. And also you can even just say his stories. I've distributed countless books just based into billionaires, millionaires, but even just random workers as well, just because they're so inspired by hearing Srila Prabhupada's story, because it is such a wonderful story. And so you can just tell people about how, his story of how he came to the US at an old age, going on a ship that in very austere environments, and with a little amount of money, he created a worldwide movement. It is extraordinary. And after that, you can also mention other things. People have done their dissertations, their degrees on these books. And you can mention, or at least have in your mind, the beautiful story. I guess you can read the page, but that beautiful story of how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur once said how if by any means you need to always hold on to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is more important than Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. And 4, this is probably the key part of all of this. This is probably the way that gets people the most, is show and tell. I'm about to show you many images, and they all come from Adi Leela, and they're all all within Adi Leela. So the first picture, the Panchatattva picture, I then show everyone, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the person that I'm speaking about. And this picture talks on spiritual relationships. There's the beloved, the protector, the guide, the confidant, and the friend. But then after that, then you can then go even deeper into that and start to tell people about how, related to them. Material relationships, they're always temporary. When there's a change in any environment with that relationship, the relationship is over. But spiritual relationships, they last forever because there's a deeper connection there. And so even if that person commits the most abominable action, you still stay with them. And then often what's really catching to the person is to then ask them a question. Does someone come to mind when I say that? And they often say yes, and they explain that person and they find an attraction to it. Then there's this picture, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda dancing. I often tell people how if you naturally, when you have something so important to you, the cure for cancer, it's your responsibility, it's your duty, it's also an honor to share it with someone, to share it with everyone. I often give the example as well of how if you watch like the new Spider-Man movie and if you love it so much, naturally you go out and tell everyone about it. But then from there as well, then you can talk on how Lord Chaitanya brought joy and peace to everyone. He had something so great, this chanting process, and he wanted to spread it around the world. This one is really a great catch to people, especially when they're into meditation already. So I asked everyone, this one talks on manifestation. Have you ever heard of manifestation? And whatever they say, then, sorry. And whatever they say, then I ask them, what does manifestation mean to you? And then whatever they say, they can say the most crazy answer or they can give the really in-depth answer. Whatever they say, then I say, wow, that's the best answer I've heard all day. And then I tell them, I just introduce the picture. This is Advaita Acharya. He saw so many terrible things happening around him. He saw the way the society was changing, and he just wanted to make a better change. And so through his sincere prayers, his devotion, he manifested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come down and change the world. And so it's just a reminder, a constant reminder to us that if we do anything with the right intention, the right effort, you can change the whole world. And people often, they resonate with this because one, it makes them feel powerful that they can do anything. And also if you hear something like manifestation, man, there's a unique word that I know of, it gives them that deeper interest. This one's a great picture as well, just for the meaning. I often tell people that it's often said, you can be in the world, but not of the world. And then I bring up these different dualities in life, whatever comes to my mind, often hot, cold, happy, sad, love, hate. People often relate to these. I'm meeting people that are going off to work and, they're miserable at work. So they're seeing these ups and downs of everyday life. And so by explaining the picture, then I show that, yes, this everyday life, there are these ups and downs. You are not always going to be happy, but by the chanting process that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave within these books, you can learn in your heart and mind to always stay content, to always be on that spiritual platform, even amongst the ups and downs. This picture is a great one because it shows that just by singing and dancing, you can realize one's true self. And I asked them, isn't that amazing? And then they're like, yeah. And then, because everyone wants to sing and dance, right? And to realize one's true self by just doing a task they enjoy is often the best thing. And then after that, then I speak on, you can bring up how, 500 years ago, the West were trying to conquer the East, whether we see it with, England and things like this, taking everything from them. But Lord Chaitanya had a different approach. He wanted to give people brotherhood. He wanted to give them peace, love, harmony, kindness, compassion. And this last picture, I often just tell people when they're interested in Buddhist philosophy, it shows a comparison with different Eastern philosophies. People are often interested. And before I move on, I would like to say that often these whole pictures, they may seem simple, how is somebody going to take a whole set of books just by seeing these little pictures? I once met this one lady. We were in a very corporate area, and it was a very difficult day at that point. Many people just walking super fast, not interested. They were just rushing away from their workplace, going back home. And there was this one lady, her name was Aude, and she's from a French background, but she's lived in England her whole entire life. And she, I stopped her, and she was like one of the million people that stopped that day. And I stopped her, and then I presented the book. She wasn't so interested in the books, really. She wasn't so interested in meditation. But I just thought, just for my own purification, I'm going to show her the set. And so I started showing her the pictures, and I went to the picture of the Panchatattva, and I said, "This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." And she started getting teary-eyed, and she started like quivering, and she was like, "Oh my God, he is so beautiful." And I was like, "Yeah, he is." And she's like, "No, he is so beautiful." And I was like, "Wow, okay, yeah, he is." And then I turned to the next picture of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda dancing. And then I told her, um, you know, they had this great chanting process and they just wanted to spread it around the world. And then at that point, she burst into tears, tears flowing down her face. And then she was just like, he is so kind, so loving, so compassionate. And then at that point, I was just blown away. I just realized this lady is just, a completely pure devotee. I have no idea where she's come from, but she's just completely pure devotee. And I closed the books. I told her, this is for you. This set is for you. You just need to take these books home with you. And then she ended up taking the set. She gave a full donation. And so it's so interesting. We think, they're just pictures, but actually these people that are taking these books, they see the pictures in a different way. It's not just a picture of a person, but they have this deep connection with them. And so this is the fun part, the donation part. So how do we ask for a donation? I just follow the same steps as Vaishesika Prabhu usually uses. We don't sell these books like in a bookstore, but we ask everyone for a donation. There are 9 books, so they cost around They would usually cost around £250, or at least up to that. But here we ask for exactly £97.50. But generous people, they usually give 108. And so we just ask, give whatever your heart tells you. And there's just a few different parts of this which add to them actually, giving the full price. When you give that exact printing number, then they have, it costs exactly that. It's not like I'm trying to trick them to give £100. It costs exactly that. So they have that in their ballpark. And when you say generous people give 108, give whatever your heart tells you. Everyone's heart is always going to tell them that they should give more. And if you say generous people give 108, then actually they're going to think, cool, I should be the kind person. I should be the generous person. I should be the one to give 108. And so often these lines, just in general, these simple lines, it works like a charm. And then there's the Q&A part. It's not necessarily asking for questions, but these are just questions that I've been asked many times from different devotees about distributing books, different concerns people have had. One of the very common ones is, how can we justify distributing CC set to somebody when it's their first book? This Ord that I met, they've never even heard of ISKCON, they've never heard of Srila Prabhupada, they've never heard of the Hare Krishnas, they've never heard of even Hinduism, or they've never heard of whatever, they're not even really interested in meditation. So why should I have given her that book rather than a 4 questions or a Bhagavad Gita? I was once in class, Daya Mahaprabhu was giving class, our temple president, and I asked him this same question: why should we give a set to somebody when they haven't got any other book? And he said this: who are we to decide? It's Krishna's mercy that will allow this person to understand. And if that book ends up somewhere else, Krishna will guide it. We shouldn't worry too much. We just need to give them out. Do your best, and Krishna will do the rest. And so, as devotees, we should have the greatest amount of devotion to these books. We should acknowledge the supreme power of these books. And in that mood, um, we should see that, it can change someone's life and we don't even know how. Just by them having these books hold this potency. And yeah, we should acknowledge that they're living, Srila Prabhupada's ecstasies are within this book. It is Krishna himself, it's Lord Caitanya himself, and just by them having this book. I was once on book distribution, actually, and I once met a lady, and she came up to me and she said, "Are you guys the Hare Krishnas?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Wow, I met you guys 1 year ago." And you guys gave me a Bhagavad Gita. And what she said, a Bhagavad Gita. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I said, yeah, have you read it yet? And she said, no, but I left it on my shelf in my house. And every time I now walk into my living room, there seems to be a better energy. And this is a lady that's never even heard, like never even tried any Eastern philosophy or anything, doesn't know the potency of the Bhagavad Gita, but yet she feels the potency of the Bhagavad Gita. Anyway, just to continue, that yes, oftentimes we see it based on our own conditioning as well. Maybe our first book was a trying to be happy to be, but we don't know the potency of this person. We don't know the intellect of this other person to understand the books. Also, Caitanya-caritamrta, I've often seen, especially Madhya, it's a lot, as it's more recent, as there's a lot more stories, it's often a lot more relatable. I've seen that with many people that I've been cultivating as well. Also, is it beneficial to present even if they don't take a set? And the simple answer is yes. One, we can just see it as our own practice. Naturally, the more times we present it, there's at least one person. There was this one time I was on the streets and I needed to do two Chaitanya-caritamrta sets just to reach my sankalpa for the week. And but I only had 4 hours. And I was thinking, man, how am I going to do this? And so I was out on the streets and I went up to 6 people, and each person was super ripe. They've heard of the Hare Krishnas, they're into meditation, they're this, they're that, they're psychologists, they got a business, whatever it is. But each person said no. And then I just prayed and I begged my spiritual master for his mercy. And then after that, the next 2 people I met, they ended up taking the set, they gave a full donation. And so it's this beautiful aspect that it's just continuously doing it, continuously trying. But yeah, continuously trying, you gain better practice, you gain a greater intensity to try and distribute it, and that just makes it easier. Plus, one of the most beautiful parts about it is we can just leave the conversation just thinking, I've now added one more person to the world that knows about Lord Chaitanya. And one other thing I get asked, some people get scared because it's a big set. I often say, have you ever heard of the Harry Potter series? It comes in 7 volumes. But you can't just, if you finish one, you're going to be asking, what about the next one? But sometimes it's just because we're actually scared to distribute a big set to somebody. We're thinking that they can't handle it. And so again, it's just that aspect. We just need to gain comfortability with distributing these sets. Also, some people are in a rush. In some ways, it's just about constantly telling them it's okay, it won't take so much time. And in general as well, we shouldn't spend too much time with somebody. Just to present these books, we can do it in just a few minutes. It doesn't need to take hours and hours. And just meditations to always have, just to cultivate that conviction that I was just mentioning, that everyone needs to take a Caitanya-caritamrta set, whether they realize it or not. It doesn't matter, whether someone's Indian or not. Everyone needs a Caitanya-caritamrta set. I've distributed every single set I've distributed this year has gone to a Western non-traditional audience. And I've had countless responses from these people, and they've all been relishing it like anything. Um, Also, that distribution is possible. We have one devotee who's about to speak for just a few minutes named Alanat, and he's been distributing on average. Last month, he distributed on average 3 Caitanya-caritamrta sets every day. He just would figure it out. And so it shows that when you have that sincerity, that enthusiasm, it's possible. And even in Adi Leela, it's said that when you have that the most difficult task can become the most easy, and the most easy task can become the most difficult. It's dependent on the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And so we just need to keep that in our minds. Also, this is one great thing. Vaishasika Prabhu, he once mentioned, I couldn't get the exact quote, but he once mentioned something along the lines of that before we go out the house, we often check, have I got my tilak, or have I got my phone, my keys, my wallet, whatever it is. And so similarly, before we step out for Sankirtan, we need to just check, am I humble enough to be in the mood of a servant? Have I prayed enough? Have I begged for enough mercy from the devotees? And so in that mood, we just need to prepare spiritually before going out, seeking the blessings and praying sincerely to our gurus, to our deities, to Srila Prabhupada, to just send ripe souls. And that's it. That's the end of my presentation. I would just like to invite Alanat Prabhu, who is our leading Sankirtan distributor, to just speak just a few words on how he's been doing it and what he's been doing.
Give me a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. Ooh, I'm sorry, I'm just giving the loudest round of applause I can. In the evening night of Sridham Mayapur. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you all so much. Although it's my first time in Mayapur and I'm eager to attend a morning program, I couldn't help but come on and try to share whatever realization I have with you all, because I was so inspired by your efforts to distribute the Sri Caitanya-caritamrta. It's been amazing. As a matter of fact, Srila Prabhupada stopped writing the Bhagavatam back in the 70s, and he wanted to distribute Caitanya-caritamrta so badly. And when he was telling his disciples that we have to get this done, we're going to stop all work and we're going to get to this. So they said, okay, Srila Prabhupada, we're going to come up with the calculations, and it's going to take us X amount of months, perhaps over a year or something, to get this done. And Prabhupada said, no, all you have is 2 months. And guess what they said? Srila Prabhupada, this is impossible. They actually stopped their morning walk in complete disbelief, saying that this cannot be done because we simply don't have the capacity, the manpower, or practically even the ability to do it within one's mind. But what did Prabhupada say? Impossible is a word in the fool's dictionary. And so therefore, what we have, the solution that we're looking for, is all in the scripture. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, a dog can cross the ocean, a blind man can see the stars, a fool can recite poetry, and someone like myself, with not much devotion, and not much of a pious background, can really be able to distribute books by Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So, the best way to exemplify this is to go on with what the scriptures tell us and what the acharyas have previously done. Because when someone distributes many sets, the blessings that I've been experiencing, everyone is asking, what do you say? Or what are your catch lines? Can I come and shadow you and see what you do? Well, the question is, everyone here on the call, I'm sure, has distributed one Bhagavad Gita before. How have you done that? You must have the firm faith that this person is going to come. I'm going to convince him to take this one Bhagavad Gita. There was a time you believed that it couldn't happen, and now it happened. And now you're going into sets, and now that's happening. And so simply by the enthusiasm and the sincere determination that this has to be done on behalf of Prabhupada, who completed it in only 2 months, and who was managing a movement opening 108 temples, completing over 60 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam, and also continuing writing them until the last second of his physical manifestation in this world. That if he was able to do that, then surely this is the least we can do to repay him back. And if we are not having that determination, then it won't be done. But if we pray for Mahaprabhu, it can be done. There was one day on the streets that I was praying so hard because I distribute not only to Westerners, but also to non-traditional audiences and traditional audiences, because obviously our dear brothers and sisters from Bharat Bhumi are more likely. But I was on the streets and I was praying, Krishna, please send us ripe souls who never heard about this before, so we can introduce them to Lord Chaitanya's mercy. And this was in an area that wasn't busy at all. But the determination was so strong that after many hours of pretty much no one passing by, one person came. He took the Caitanya-caritamrta set, but also took every single one of Prabhupada's books. And I remember he paid the auspicious number of 151 pounds, and he left. And shortly after as well, another person came, and he was so curious about the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya that he took the whole CC set, and he's been regularly attending our Studio 108 programs every single week since then. We have another story of my deep desire to be able to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. And I went out to Liverpool Street, one of the richest and busiest streets in London, with the most funniest look. Like I had like 10-pound bad slippers from Primark and a worn out shirt, and I just was going out on a whim after doing service. But I just prayed so deeply. Moments after, someone tapped my shoulder and they said, "What is this philosophy?" I felt intimidated to approach you all, but seeing that you were wearing normal clothes, I will now attempt to speak to you. He took the Srimad Bhagavatam in less than 10 minutes and paid nearly a full donation. And he's been coming to our Studio 108 for nearly a year now, following the principles and chanting Hare Krishna. The stories go on and forth. Some devotees have been distributing over 10 Caitanya-caritamrta sets after their Bhagavad Gita classes. Why? Just because before class they said, I have the determination to do it. And when we have that, Nityananda himself, Mahaprabhu himself will empower you. So the question goes down to, how sincere are we? How enthusiastic are we? How strong is our determination to be able to break through the barriers and make the impossible possible? And to always remind ourselves that impossible is a word in the Fool's Dictionary. So that's my TED Talk for today. Thank you all so much. I'm seeing the beautiful faces of devotees, but I'm seeing only 4 cameras open, and I'm seeing many more participants. As devotees, we're personalists, and on the streets, we can distribute books face to face. So kindly asking devotees to show their beautiful smiles, show their beautiful faces, so we can get the Haribol.
Haribol.
Nitai Gaura Premanande.
Yeah.
Haribol.
Oh, wow. Too much effulgence, too bright. I can't take this. My gosh, my heart is overflowing with love.
Thank you
Sorry.
so much. Thank you so much, Prabhus, for sharing your
Thank you,
wonderful
Shyama Bhakti
experience. We are quite inspired, and we would like to go out and just do it. Thank you all.
Thank you. No, thank you so much. We are very inspired by you guys. Here's one more thing I have to share. I know we're going over time. We are attending Prabhupada's Samadhi in Mangalarti tomorrow. We have a very limited hours to sleep. But what science doesn't show us is that we get energy without even sleeping much because of the pure devotion of the service of preaching. So by being here with you guys, we know we're going to be energized for days just by being able to speak whatever we can. Thank you all so much for giving us this opportunity. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you. It was quite inspiring. You have awakened that feeling which His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu says, assume it can be done. When we have a goal, when we have the desire, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being a venture capitalist, always backing up, and he personally cuts the check. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Now
so
we
much.
have His Grace Bal Mukunda Prabhu, another stalwart devotee from ISV, who will be sharing information about how to do ebook distribution. In ISV, almost 30% of the Caitanya-caritamrta, they are just e-books. They goes through e-book distribution. So over to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. We cannot hear you, Prabhu. You are still on mute.
Hare,
Okay.
yeah, sorry. Yeah. Hare Krishna. I'm Bal Mukund Das. I'm from ISV and I'm working closely with BBT to expand ebook, audiobook distribution. So we started pilot in 3-4 years back, and as Vaishika Prabhu calls, ISV is a laboratory of Sankirtan. So we have been experimenting from 2-3 years, and now we think we can expand the ebook distribution, audiobook distribution across larger, many devotees can participate. So the way we go is in ISV, devotees are loving it to distribute it, because when we go out, we offer Caitanya-caritamrta set, Bhagavatam set. Uh, Many people are genuinely interested. They like the book, but sometimes they see the amount, they can't pay the Lakshmi, or they cannot carry that many books, or they genuinely are into reading ebooks. So that kind of audience, when we meet, we convince them, but at the last stage they say we don't want to buy. That time it becomes very helpful with the ebooks and audiobooks, and we are seeing that a lot of Sankirtan devotees are very happy, and they are able to get more leads, they are able to convince more people to get the books. So what we and these are the BBT books. So we have been distributing from last 1 year, last 2 years. We have distributed large number of Srimad Bhagavatam set at many venues. We have developed some cards, and so how it works, it's a complex process. No, it's not a complex process, it's simple process for you. It's just like a Amazon gift cards. What you do is you collect their email ID, you collect their Lakshmi, get their email, and all you have to do is just submit a Google form, and they get the books delivered to their email with the instruction to download the books, and they can read on their different devices like Kindle, and uh, we BBT also have developed a mobile apps like what I mean is like, yeah, so they have these mobile app, Krishna Library mobile app. They can download the code there, and they can read the ebooks there. And the process is, today we don't have a lot more titles, but eventually audiobooks will also come, and audiobooks and ebooks both are very potent format, and they are at very low price point, so that also helps with the people. So now you get good book points. BBT have approved that for pilot you can get the same book points as ebook paper books. uh, Now question comes, how I can get these books, and the first law of book distribution. So what you do is, we have developed the process. I think we have WhatsApp group, and these are the details for it. Like, I'll just post this detail in the chat, and I I strongly encourage, like, for example, Bhadra Purnima, we had almost 6 sample participated in ebook distribution. With Chaitanya Charitamrit, more devotees can also participate. The Chaitanya Charitamrit set is like around like $16 for temple to buy. You can collect any amount you want, $30, $40, whatever donation you can collect. So for you, how to get books, I have pasted the link in the chat. First, you have to just fill a Google form, do a payment. We are doing with Friends of BBT. That's an organization helping us to, I mean, so that to simplify you. And once you do the payment, we set up all the system for you. All you do it is you get a Google form which you can share with your distributors. And once they submit the form, within 30 seconds, the recipient get the email with all the instruction, and you are also in the CC, so you can follow up if they downloaded the book, if they have any questions, and that way you are get connected, and they have all the instruction to download. In ISV, a lot of devotees are very happy to distribute ebooks. They feel it's one more tool they have, or one more mechanism or option they have. Like, sometimes they are out of books. Like, I remember one devotee, he was into Florida. He was traveling, and in a park he met some people, and he could not have a paper books, but he had ebooks, he could distribute it. So that way you can increase the book distribution, and you can get benefited. And please try it out, and we are looking for your feedback. This is a pilot project, so it's a long way to go, but we already seeing a lot of potential and benefits to everyone. Yeah. Thank you. Any questions, comments? We have WhatsApp group also. Please join the WhatsApp group. We have 30+ devotees. I would love to answer your questions, walk you through process, get you a sample copy, and also created a video, 15 minutes video in the details of the process, how it works.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. It was very inspiring, and ISV being the leader, inventing new ways. So thank you so much. We will be taking a question at the end. We also need to hear one more devotee, His Grace Kautukarnava Prabhu from the biggest Sankirtan-yatra of North America, again from ISKCON of Silicon Valley. Prabhu, are you here?
Yes, Mataji. I'm sorry for joining late.
Thank you, Prabhu. Please go ahead.
Yes, Mataji. So if I understand correctly, I need to present on sponsorships. How
Yes,
do we
Prabhu.
collect sponsorship? So from ISV, of course, we have many different avenues for raising funds for devotees who go on street. We raise funds through Indian stores, and we also raise funds inside the temple on Sunday table when there are a lot of visitors coming. So we have some footage or videos or pictures to show to these people whom we request for sponsorships. And many of the Indians, they, even if they don't take the books, they are happy to sponsor for one Caitanya-caritamrta or half Caitanya-caritamrta or two Caitanya-caritamrta sets. So because they understand our cause. So I want to share few pictures from our book distribution. Maybe I can share my screen, Madaji. Or
Yes, Prabhu. Do you have the sharing rights?
no.
Siddhant Sagar Prabhu, can you help?
You should be able to do it now.
Okay, thank you. This is our WhatsApp group where we record all the photos and videos. So here is one lady who is a preschool teacher. Her name is Tamara. I met her in one of the community colleges, and she was. Thank you for taking Caitanya-caritamrta. She gave a testimonial on video, and then we also met a professor who is a professor of religion, and he also took a CC set because he wanted to know the latest in the field. This is a person, his name is Chini. He goes to Amma's ashram, so he was very happy to get a CC set. So we tell the people that this is how we are sharing this knowledge, and we request many Indians to sponsor. For example, this is one of the Indian store where devotees are there and they request sponsorship. So many people are happy to sponsor this Caitanya-caritamrta by corporate match or by their personal funds. So we have two pools going on conjointly. One where we give the books out to these people, and secondly where we get the donations for the same. So that's all I wanted to share. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Again, it was very inspiring to see newer and newer ways of distributing Caitanya-caritamrta. So I know we are a little bit over time, but I see the devotees are very enthusiastic to know more. So we will like to open for question and answers now. So if you have any question, please feel free to raise your hand. And I'm sure all the speakers, those who speak, would be able to answer your questions. Go ahead, Shalini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I missed the comparison of philosophies that Prabhuji was talking about. I think I missed that particular slide that he showed. If it's possible to bring that up again, I'd really appreciate. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
I think it was presented by ISKCON London devotees.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
I think I think it was late for them, Mataji. They had left. So I will request them to share their presentation and we will share it on our channel.
Sure, that will be beautiful. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Now I'll move on to Madan Murari Prabhu. Please go ahead and ask your question.
So Hare Krishna, Shama Bhakti Mataji, and Hare Krishna Prabhu. So this is my question is for Bal Mukunda Prabhu. So Prabhu, in response to distributing the books online, like e-books, the hindrance that I face within my own heart is that the books are available already on Veda base, right? So I hesitate because I feel that it's already there, and when people find out that it's already there free online, why are we charging for them and giving them an e-copy? So are there any benefits for which we can actually convince ourselves and others for the for the e-books?
Yeah, very valid question, Mataji. First thing is paper books. Like a simple thing is paper books are also available on Veda base, but people buy it for format because they like the format. I always like the example. YouTube is free, but they don't want ads. There are 100 million paid customers. So nowadays people have moved away from content to a format they can consume. So what ebooks offer is they can read on their own devices, they can read on their Kindle, and second thing is people value if they pay for it, although it's available free. So what we are asking them is, first they are getting Sukruti by the donation, second we are offering them in a Kindle format, in a mobile format, so that way the format is more appealing. It's distraction free. You can read on your own device, or you can read on your app, or you can read on your laptop, and many people like that aspect of it. And third one is we also want to offer them audiobook eventually, which is a very powerful medium. So but this is a way to connect that. So these are the three things I got convinced to people that, hey, people are really paying for format. I work for Google and so many people just don't want ads. It's not that it's free content, but the key is they want in a format which they love to read or access.
Yeah, no, makes sense,
That
Prabhu. I think just I
Yeah.
know you guys are already doing it, so I thought
No,
it will
thank
be
you, Mataji. And that is a very valid question. Many people get it, but just because for format purpose, and we are going to have the more support eventually. So this is a pilot project, but we want to bundle them with a lot more things as we go forward in future years.
Right. No, definitely. I think devotees are working towards the Sukriti for the devotee, other people. But but I think, it's a beautiful answer. Thank you so much. So,
Thank you, Balmukunda Prabhu, for answering. I also see one question on the chat by Chitralekha Mataji. She's asking, if we explain the contents of the Caitanya-caritamrta in an easy way on the street, they subsequently buy the set and start reading it at home. They might find out that the actual texts are a lot more difficult to understand than our explanations. What can we say to them to prepare them a little bit for this without scaring them away from taking the set? So I know it might be an appropriate question for the ISKCON London devotees, but they had already left. Kautukarnava Prabhu, would you like to answer this? I know you've been distributing a lot of books on streets.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for the nice question. Actually, many parts of Caitanya-caritamrta are very sweet. Of course, the first volume is a lot of philosophy. So I let them know that the first volume is explaining the philosophy to give the authenticity to this text. So if they want to read more stories, they can always start from second volume itself. And they don't have to go to the purports, they can simply read translations just to get the storyline. So that won't be too difficult for them to digest. And another thing that is there is if we can have regular reading calls, so we can always give them an option where they can join reading calls. We have a weekly reading call, just the translations. We don't read purports, we just read translations. So anybody who wants to get connected, they have an option to join in. These are the two things I can think of.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. I hope it satisfy your question, Mataji. So now we are almost done with our time. I know we don't feel like leaving the call because there's so many inspiring words coming from these devotees. It's a beautiful year. We have just distributed more than 5 million Bhagavad Gitas as a one-word global team, together by the inspiration of His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu and all the devotees for the pleasure of our Acharyas and Guru Parampara. We wish you all the best. And as Vaisheshika Maharaj always say, do huge. So thank you so much, all of you, especially devotee of ISV, London and Pune, for giving your valuable time and sharing your resources. We would be sharing all these presentation and this recording of the call on all our channels. So just stay tuned. And I would also like to give a special thank to Ranchor Prabhu and Shama Mohini Mataji for planning and organizing this call and bringing us all together. And by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, may what we have learned today, we just pray to Srila Prabhupada that it strengthen our distribution of Sri Caitanya-caritamrta. May we smash all our Be a Gardener goals. We will end this call by paying our obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhaya patita nam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavind ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Be a gardener.
Caitanya-caritamrta ki jai.
Jai. Be a gardener campaign ki jai. All Sankirtan devotees ki jai. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very much. Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe.